Listen. Do not look at the screen that bleeds blue light into your weary eyes. Look into the shadows of your room. Listen to the silence that screams beneath the digital clamor. You are surrounded by a million voices, a billion signals, yet you have never been more isolated. This is the great paradox of your era. You are hyper-connected, yet your soul is starving in a famine of presence. You walk through the streets of concrete and glass, rubbing shoulders with thousands, yet you feel like a ghost haunting your own life. You return to your sanctuary, a hollow apartment where the air hangs stagnant and you scroll. You seek validation from strangers who do not know your name, and certainly do not care if you live or die. You call this loneliness. I call it corrosion. The modern world has waged a silent war against the masculine spirit, and the first casualty was your brotherhood. You have been told that independence is the ultimate virtue, that needing a tribe is a weakness. Society has stripped you of the village, severed the bonds of the pack, and left you drifting in a vast, gray ocean of individualism. But look deeper. Why do you ache? It is not simply because you lack company. A weak man feels lonely even in a crowd. You ache because you have mistaken solitude for abandonment. The earth beneath your feet is solid, but you are unmoored. You have become a vessel without an anchor, tossed by the waves of cheap dopamine and shallow interactions. The rot begins here, in the soil of your daily existence. You have traded the deep roots of purpose for the shallow weeds of comfort. You sit in the dark, not to meditate, but to hide. This epidemic is not a disease. It is a consequence. It is the price paid for a civilization that values safety over meaning and pleasure over duty. You are a sword left in the rain, forgotten, not broken, but slowly being consumed by the rust of inaction. You think you are alone because you are unloved. No, you are alone because you have forgotten how to stand. The ground is waiting. The excavation begins now. Water takes the shape of the vessel that holds it. If the vessel is broken, the water spills, seeping into the cracks of the floor, rotting the foundation from beneath. Your mind is that vessel, and right now, it is leaking. To understand why this solitude feels like a physical weight on your chest, why it constricts your throat and chills your blood, we must descend into the biology of your fear. We must look at the animal inside the man. Your brain is not designed for the modern apartment. It is forged in the fires of the Paleolithic wild. Deep within your temporal lobes lies the amygdala. It does not know about Wi-Fi or deadlines or social credit scores. It knows only two states, the pack or the prey. For 10,000 generations, to be alone was a death sentence. To be separated from the tribe meant the cold would take you, or the predator would find you. So, when you sit alone in that blue-lit room night after night, your biology betrays you. The amygdala screams. It floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. You feel an unease you cannot name. You scan the horizon for a threat that does not exist. You are perpetually in fight or flight mode. But there is no one to fight, and nowhere to flee. This is not sadness. This is your body reacting to the threat of extinction. You are drowning in a chemical soup of your own making. How do you treat this wound? How do you silence the screaming animal? You do not seek the cure. You seek the anesthetic. You turn to the glowing rectangle. You scroll through the curated lives of others, sipping on the poison of comparison. You mistake the dopamine hit of a like for the oxytocin of a handshake. You watch other men live, other men conquer, other men copulate. You engage in the simulacrum. You replace the warmth of a woman with the pixelated harem of pornography. You replace the camaraderie of the hunt with the digital violence of video games. You replace the dialogue of philosophy with the echo chamber of the comment section. This is the great deception. You are drinking salt water to quench a thirst for blood and spirit. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. And the thirstier you become, the more you drink. Musashi spoke of the spirit as water, adaptable, crashing, flowing. But water that does not move becomes a swamp. Your emotions, shame, longing, rage are fluids. They require a channel. When you deny your loneliness, when you mask it with irony or distraction, you build a dam. Behind that dam, the pressure mounts. The water turns black. It becomes a breeding ground for parasites, anxiety, depression, nihilism. You feel numb, yet heavy. You are drifting in a boat with no oars, caught in a circular current of your own habits. You tell yourself you are introverted. You tell yourself you are independent. These are lies you whisper to the ceiling at 3 a.m. The truth is darker. You are comfortable in your misery. The abyss has become a warm bath. To step out requires you to feel the cold air of reality, and you are terrified of the chill. So you float, you drift. A Ronin without a master, a sword rusting in the scabbard. But the dam is cracking. The pressure is critical. You cannot numb the animal forever. Eventually, the water will burst forth, and it will either cleanse you or it will destroy you. We must introduce the spark. We must boil the water. Stop weeping over the cold. It is time to light the fire. You perceive your isolation as a defect, a sign that you have been discarded by the herd. You look at your empty room and see a prison cell. This is the perspective of the sheep. To the wolf, the empty forest is not a prison. It is a kingdom. To the Ronin, the silence is not empty. It is pregnant with potential. We must burn away the rot of your perception. We must take the leaden weight of your loneliness and transmute it into the gold of sovereignty. Consider Miyamoto Musashi. He did not die surrounded by concubines, drunk on wine and adoration. He died in the Ronin cave, alone. In his final days, skeletal and weary, he did not cry out for companionship. He picked up his brush and wrote the Dokkodo, the Path of Aloneness. His 21 precepts were not a suicide note. They were a declaration of absolute freedom. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not regret what you have done. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Musashi understood a truth that modern men have forgotten. Mastery demands isolation. You cannot sharpen a blade in a crowded marketplace. You cannot hear the voice of the heavens while scrolling through the noise of the earth. The master swordsman retreats to the mountain not because he hates the world, but because the world is too loud for the work he must do. You must execute a violent shift in your mind. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. It is passive. It is a state of lack. It is the child crying for its mother. Solitude is the glory of being alone. It is active. It is a state of abundance. It is the warrior sharpening his spear. The universe has not cursed you with isolation. It has gifted you a vacuum. Think of the physics of a fire. It needs space to breathe. If you smother it with debris, with people, with noise, it dies. By stripping away your distractions, by removing the fake friends and the shallow relationships, life has cleared the floor of your dojo. You are standing in the center of an empty room. This is terrifying to the weak man, because he has to face himself. He sees his own reflection in the mirror, his flabby body, his dull eyes, his wasted potential, and he screams for distraction. But for you, the Ronin, this is the moment of ignition. Why does it burn? Why does this solitude hurt so much? It hurts because your ego is starving. Your ego feeds on validation. It needs to be told it is good, it is handsome, it is successful. Without the feedback loop of other people, the ego begins to die. Let it die. Burn it to ash. The pain you feel is not the pain of injury. It is the pain of the molting. The crab must shed its shell to grow. The snake must shed its skin to live. You are shedding the skin of the social animal to reveal the sovereign man. This is the concept of Mushin, no mind, applied to existence. You stop defining yourself by who you are with. You start defining yourself by who you are. Understand this. Most men will never walk this path. They will cling to the herd until the slaughterhouse. They will marry out of fear of sleeping alone. They will befriend fools to avoid silence. They will die having never met themselves. You have been given a rare opportunity. The epidemic of loneliness is actually a call to arms. The fire is hot. It sears the flesh. But look at what remains in the ashes. When you no longer need them. When you can sit in a dark room for hours, content with your own breath. When you stop begging the world for scraps of attention, you become dangerous. A man who is comfortable in hell cannot be threatened by the devil. A man who has conquered solitude cannot be manipulated by the fear of exclusion. You are not drowning, my friend. You are being tempered. The iron screams when it hits the fire. Let it scream, but do not take it out of the heat until it is steel. Wind cannot be seen. It is known only by what it moves and what it cuts. You have diagnosed the sickness, earth. You have understood the biological trap, water. You have ignited the will to change, fire. But philosophy without action is merely intellectual masturbation. It is a ghost swinging a phantom sword. Musashi did not become a kensei, sword saint, by meditating on the concept of cutting. He picked up the bokken and swung it until his hands bled, until the wood became an extension of his nervous system. You ask, what do I do now? Stop asking. Execute. The modern world sells you life hacks and tips. Tips are for waiters. Warriors operate on protocols. Here are the 3 rituals of the wind. They are not suggestions. They are commands for the reclamation of your soul. Command I. The digital seppuku, Protocol 0. The source of your weakness is the constant, low-level hum of other people's noise. You are afraid of the silence because that is when the demons speak. You must invite the demons in, and then you must starve them. The ritual. For the first 90 minutes of your day, you do not exist to the world. No phone, no email, no news, no music. You wake up, you drink water, you stare into the void. You sever the umbilical cord. When you check your phone immediately upon waking, you are admitting that the world's agenda is more important than your own existence. You are starting your day on your knees, begging for input. In this silence, you will feel anxiety. Good. Watch it. In this silence, you will feel bored. Good. Boredom is the precursor to creation. Write, read, stare at a wall. Reclaim the sovereignty of your attention. The result, you stop reacting. You start acting. Command 2. The Iron Liturgy. The Vessel. Musashi wrote, do not let your body be physically reliant on others. A lonely man in a weak body is a tragedy. A solitary man in a dangerous body is a myth. Your body is the only house you will ever truly own. Currently, it is soft, pliable, and accustomed to comfort. It reflects your spirit, shapeless. The ritual. You must engage in voluntary suffering every single day. This is not exercise. This is exorcism. Lift heavy iron until your muscles scream. Run until your lungs burn with the taste of copper. When you are under the crushing weight of a barbell, you are not lonely. You are focused on survival. The physical pain silences the mental chatter. It floods your brain with the chemicals your ancestors used to hunt mammoths. The result, you build armor. When you walk down the street, posture upright, blood oxygenated, you project a signal. You are no longer prey. People respect strength, but more importantly, you respect your own strength. Command 2. The communion of the dead, the intellect. You complain that you have no friends. You say the people around you are shallow, obsessed with celebrities and status. Then why are you trying to befriend them? Stop seeking the company of mediocrity. Seek the company of greatness. The greatest men who ever lived are waiting to speak to you. They are immortalized in ink and paper. The ritual. Read, but do not read to be entertained. Read to be armed. Sit with Seneca. Walk with Nietzsche. Bleed with Musashi. Dedicate 1 hour every evening to the study of the masters. When you read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, you are having a conversation with a Roman emperor who felt the same weight of duty and isolation that you feel. You are not alone. You are part of the aristocracy of the soul. The result, your standards rise. You realize that solitude is preferable to the company of fools. You become articulate, sharp, and formidable. Once you have applied these rituals, a strange paradox will occur. When you stop desperate pursuit of connection, connection pursues you. When you stop needing the approval of the tribe looks to you for leadership. You will return to the office, to the streets, to the dating market, but you will move like the wind. You are there, but you are not attached. You engage, you smile, you perform your duty, but your core remains untouched, resting in the void. You are no longer a beggar at the feast of life. You are the chef. You bring the fire. You bring the substance. Do not try to make friends. Build a self so strong that others are compelled to orbit your gravity. We have reached the end of the scroll. We have traversed the earth of your grounding, the water of your psychology, the fire of your spirit, and the wind of your action. Now, we step into the void. Musashi wrote, "By knowing things that exist, you can know that which does not exist." When you finally stop fighting the solitude, when you stop screaming at the silence to be filled, a strange quietude settles over your soul. The panic subsides. The desperate clawing for validation dissolves. You look in the mirror, and for the first time, you do not see a fragment of a man waiting to be completed by a woman, or a job, or a group of friends. You see a universe contained in skin and bone. This is the state of Dokkodo. Imagine the Ronin. He walks the dirt road between villages. The sun is setting, casting long, violet shadows across the rice paddies. In the distance, he hears the laughter of families, the clinking of sake cups, the warmth of the hearth. He does not hate them. He does not envy them. He acknowledges their warmth, bows his head in respect, and keeps walking into the mist. He is not cold. He is burning with a purpose that the villagers will never understand. He carries the weight of his sword and the lightness of his freedom. He belongs to nowhere, and therefore, he belongs to everywhere. You are that Ronin. The modern world is a loud, crowded tavern. Everyone is drunk on distraction, shouting over one another, terrified of the moment the music stops. You are the man who steps out of the tavern. You step into the cool night air. You look up at the stars, cold, distant, and beautiful. Loneliness is the tax you pay for complexity of mind. Solitude is the price of admission to the realm of the greats. Do not pray for the burden to be lighter. Pray for your back to be stronger. Do not wish for the crowd to cheer for you. The crowd cheers for clowns as loudly as they cheer for kings. Walk the path. If you find a companion who can match your stride, walk with them. If you do not, walk alone. But never, ever stand still. The cave is dark, my friend. But it is only in the dark that you can see the light of your own soul. Pick up your sword. The sun is rising, and you have a long way to go. Walk.